Hey everybody, this is Eddy Dacius. We're here for another episode. We're excited to have you today. We have a great show for you. But before we introduce the show and go, and we're gonna be introducing our guest today. Her name is Naïka Daiti. She's great. She's gonna talk about her career, upbringing, and before we even do anything, so we would like to have everybody subscribe to the channel and support us. Let's go with DP Podcast.
Welcome to the Divine Purpose Podcast, where we transport you along one of the more dynamic journeys of life. Have you ever been curious to know what it takes to become a successful leader? Or about knowing the secrets of life through the Bible? How about engaging in conversation where no topics are off limits? We will take you to new levels with guests who can help you grasp the importance of your calling. Now, here's your host, Eddy Dacius, founder of Dacius Facilities Management.
Hey, we back. So we just wanna remind everybody this episode is brought to you by Dacius Facility Management. They will manage your property with a variety of services: locksmithing, facility management, project management. Call them now, 617-237-0106, or go online at daciusfm.com, daciusfm.com. So like we said, we have a great guest. Her name is Naika Shal Daiti. Naika, how are you doing today?
Hello, Eddie. Happy Monday. I am doing great. I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your Divine Purpose podcast. It's an honor for me. Thank you.
Nah, we excited to have you. We great. So finally, we have you on our podcast. So the way we like to start the show is we ask a basic question. What can you tell us about you?
Wow, that basic question, as you know very well, is super loaded because, like
Yeah.
most people, I don't like to talk about myself. So I am going to say that here I am, 31 years later in New York this year,
Wow.
born and raised in Haiti. I want to say I had one of the most beautiful life, truly, but had to leave the country at 15 years old to
Mm,
migrate to New York. And ever since, I've been working since 1991. So it's been exactly 31 years. My first job
wow.
was at a dry cleaners while I was in high school.
Mm,
And, this actually brings back memories because they accused me of misplacing, meaning truly removing an item. And
yeah.
truth be told, that did not happen.
Okay.
And although it was discovered, I left the dry cleaners that same day and said, my integrity matters. And if
Mm,
I'm going to work somewhere, and here I am, I was 16 actually, already thinking, if I'm going to work somewhere or work with a group of people, integrity and trust is one of the main elements for me. Graduated from high school and pursued my education, moved to St. Louis. Honestly, did not really achieve what I really wanted to achieve because I started to raise a family at a
mm,
very early age. I'm
wow.
married, and I have a son,
Mm,
and I am a grandmother
oh,
happily.
wow. Congratulations.
All of that in a span of 31 years, my career really debuted, I want to say, in telemarketing, making phone calls for this carpet company, which was really quite interesting. And then from there, I went into travel as a travel coordinator because I always enjoyed discovering new places. All, between that time, here I am, married with a son and being a mom. And then I landed a very great opportunity at L'Oreal.
Wow.
I'm sure that, everyone in the world, I feel, knows who L'Oreal is. So I am going to give
Yeah.
them a plug in in this moment because working at L'Oreal truly, I want to say, Eddie, shaped me for who I am today. I worked there for almost 14 years.
Mm.
And I started as an executive assistant and truly worked my way up into a chief of staff role for executives in the C suite level. And, I worked in beauty for 20 years. And I
Wow.
can tell you during that time, I also started volunteering through work while working at L'Oreal. We had volunteer day, and I truly enjoyed the aspect of giving back
Yep.
as an individual and as a team. But I never thought about, like, creating a charity or a
Yep.
nonprofit. But I have to say, that is actually and truly part of my purpose today.
Mm.
It's been 13 years since me and two other really amazing women created a give back initiative.
Okay.
I was working at L'Oreal. That was in 2008. And, what started with a simple idea of giving back to my hometown community and ours together, the three of us women, is now truly a give back initiative with a purpose. And the purpose is education and community development. So my life right now has been truly, I want to say, colorful, and I'm constantly learning. I'm
Wow.
constantly learning. I consider myself truly self-educated when I talk
Okay.
to my mentors and my advisors,
Yeah.
because I've worked with a lot of different people in my life.
Okay.
So and there's more to share actually on that end, because the journey continues,
But
and I'll share some more. Thank you.
no, wow, wow. I had to say, whoa, I'm like speechless because I did some research on you, but I never knew you work at. I never knew that. But no, no, you said you work at 16 after you left
Yes, I started
the
working
corporate
at
company.
16. That's right. I started working at 16. It was in 1991
Okay.
at a dry cleaners. That was
Um,
on Linden Boulevard in Queens, New York. Never
wow.
forget.
Tough place to work.
Yes,
Right?
it was. I was their front desk person, like their welcome, person, their receptionist.
Okay.
Very small mom and pop. My cousin actually recommended me to work there.
Okay.
So it was truly an experience like no other.
So let's take a 360. And I know you said you came here when you were about like 16 or 15, 16. And let's go back in all you grew up in Haiti. And then what culture shock was it coming here in the Big Apple? So you didn't come anywhere. You came in the Big Apple. So what was your experience like?
So born and raised in Haiti, born in Port-au-Prince.
Yep.
And my mother is from Compiègne and my dad is from Ansalvo.
Oh wow.
I went to Les Joyeux Lutins for kindergarten, and Sainte Rose de Lima, as known
Okay.
as La Lu,
Yeah.
for middle school into high school. And I did 1 year at Charité de Saint Louis.
Okay.
And in 1991, January, a day in January in 1991, um, we had to leave the country, my brother and I. But to tell you about my life in Haiti, besides the academics that I just shared, like going to
Yep.
school, my life was super, I want to say, colorful again.
Okay.
We have a big family on both sides. And, back then, I'm talking about the 70s and the 80s, I had dance school, and I have to give a shout out to Eileen Herzog Bazin.
Okay.
because she also shaped me, and here I am still in contact with her today.
Wow.
I started dancing at the age of 6 years old, ballet, jazz, tap, folklore, of course, did karate there.
Yeah.
But what really was good about that and during that time, especially in Haiti, is the discipline that we got out of it. And I kid you not, Eddie, even today, I am still in touch with, I want to say, a large majority of the dancers from back then. Whether we reconnected through Facebook or not, it goes to show you what Eileen really taught us was how to cultivate relationships.
Hmm. Wow.
So I have to say, like, again, that was truly part of my upbringing that I will always remember and be grateful for. In addition to, the constant road trips to Campere, specifically because my mom, the strong woman that she is, and I don't say that just because she's my mother, but I have a lot of her values in
Yep.
me. I could feel it, my character, because being in company, they celebrate Zintan,
Yeah.
which is July 26th,
Yeah.
and her birthday is July 27th.
Okay.
So I grew up not missing Zintan anniversary, but my dad is from Asavo and it's also Zintan.
Okay.
And I never had the opportunity to really enjoy Asavo in my youth, and I'm
Okay.
getting to know it now. But, we had beach days on Sundays, comme si mta djo, al kay cousine,
Yep.
jouer mab,
Yeah.
monter sou pied sans man,
I know.
comme si des mémoires, des souvenirs vraiment inoubliables.
Yes.
Aller dans des restaurants, tant kou chez Tony, ou bien ou boire crème, ou
Yep.
chanmas. My brother learned how to drive in Bicentenaire.
Yeah.
Like, our lives, I have to say, from the moment I remember breathing and living in Haiti until the day I had to leave.
Yep.
Yes, although I was only 15 when I left,
Okay.
there had been a lot going on around that time. And still, we were still like living. We're still
Hmm.
living. That's what I remember. I remember living in Haiti, like
But
going to church on Sundays because
nah, nah, yo, it's don't tell me you're about to say l'école, l'église, la caille, right? Nah, but you mentioned you had some fun outside.
oh,
Outside,
oh yeah,
yeah,
had a
that's
lot
good.
of fun. Had a lot of fun. I mean, we had also, I want to say, a sense of freedom at a
Yep.
very young age because we were also very connected with our parents, and our parents wouldn't let us, like, they wouldn't let my brother and I go out without having an older sibling.
Sibling, yeah,
Or so it was, and then don't forget, même comme si m'ta dit, if it's a family party, et puis
yeah,
c'est pour les grandes personnes,
yeah,
all the children are there.
yeah, definitely.
So that was the living in Haiti.
And I'm glad, and I think our listeners gonna have that opportunity to relive Haiti the way I didn't know it that way, but I learned a lot in terms of the way it was and how beautiful or cultured it was growing up in Haiti. So my question is, what is the most important lesson you have learned over your career?
Wow, Eddie, that is a loaded question, and I love it. And I want to say respect.
Wow.
I want to say respect because I have worked under the leadership of some really great people, men and women alike.
Okay.
And what I have truly embraced as an executive assistant, a chief of staff, office manager, I've had several titles, but it's not the title.
Hmm.
It's how you work, who you work with, and how you communicate together. And to me, if we don't respect each other, we can't work well together. So I've had no distinction in my career because I respect everybody. And that
Wow.
goes from the C-suite executives to a founder of a company to the mailman and to the cleaning staff. That is, for me, the most important lesson: respect.
Wow. I don't think you could said it better. And I'm glad you shared that with us. And I will follow to with that question. What is the most challenging aspect in your career now?
Well, right now, my career is multifunctional. I resigned from my corporate life in 2019 to
Okay.
pursue really, let's say, Naïka 2.0.
Okay.
Okay. And while building that, no one knew this was going to happen. COVID happened.
Wow. COVID. Yep.
And while COVID happened and while building that, I was also in I want to say, restructured program for Projects in Ann, meaning we were reorganizing, let's just put it that way, it's better. We were reorganizing the structure of the organization so that it can really sustain itself. Because I give a lot of time, everyone on the team actually give the best that they can to the team, but it became more of okay, I am going to continue to volunteer my time because this is truly my purpose. It's not just charity. There's a lot more to that. And at the same time, I would like to see where else can I fit in outside of the beauty world,
Mm.
which is where I am right now. So I've been taking on different projects for the past few years, I would say 3 years, working with different industries. Because I want like I said before too, I keep learning. And by learning, it truly means being open to the financial industry. So I've been talking to different venture capital firms, and I've joined different forums, and then as it relates to Haiti right now, I've just signed a really great contract,
Wow.
with a company named by the name of Massage.
Okay.
And it's a big moment for me right now in my career because they're in Haiti, and
Yep.
it's a spa and wellness company. So I am also being a mother, a wife, a daughter,
Okay.
a grandmother. So my career is multifunctional.
Yes.
And for me, balancing it all out is what's most important. So, and I'm happy. I'm happy to be busy. I love it.
So, and I'm glad you said those are the most important. Let's go on this with this question now. What is the most things you are proud of you accomplish?
Woo. Um, my service, my service to Haiti.
Yeah. And
My my
let,
ser-
let me follow on this. And I'm glad you said I'm giving you loaded questions, but you giving me like killer answers too. And I appreciate it. So,
I'm being holistically, like, the most natural I could be right now
um,
because you know the name of your podcast couldn't be any better either, Eddie.
and appreciate it.
And your wall of fame back there also is giving me a lot of inspiration. And I want to say that, and when I say my service, because we are individuals, but it
Yeah.
takes a village
Wow.
to really accomplish that service.
Mm.
And I find myself truly leading towards the path of service. And it
Wow.
relates to people.
Hmm.
People. I can do very well behind a computer,
Yeah.
but I am truly hands on and also one that likes to constructively engage with other people.
I try to keep our conversation natural and keep the balance.
Right.
But if I had to share a scripture with you, would be Matthew 20, verse 26. It says, whoever want to become great among you must be a servant.
Wow.
To kind of carry you on where you said you want to be a servant, but I'm saying being a servant will allow you to be great. So that's me saying we appreciate what you're doing for Haiti, and DP Podcast wouldn't be. I'm very proud to even have a chance to know you. But now my next question would be now, where do that love for Haiti come from?
It comes from the childhood I described. It comes from my values and my family's background. Where I come from, and when I say where I come from, I'm a native Haitian.
Yeah,
And where I come from is outside of what most people know, which is the capital. I
yeah,
feel like although I was raised in the capital,
yep,
I've learned to appreciate Haiti because of my mother and my father's too side of the family's upbringing and values, and how a small little city can be so great. Like Company has a slogan, "Yoti kote apa,"
mhm,
because there's a sense of unity. So
yeah,
my love for Haiti comes from my childhood and my youth, and what I know Haiti can truly be. And for me, without love, there's no hope.
yes,
And without love, there's no faith. And I have faith that Haiti will be Haiti. So it's the love is, it's in my heart. It's in my heart
oh
for the
man,
country.
I like what you're saying, and I appreciate your kindness and truth, because what you're saying, that's the I think all Haitian will share the same. But I want to follow up and go in deeper on what you say. So yes, you're Haitian. Some people will say that should be a natural love, but you had a chance to leave Haiti to come to another place. Or can you assess that, or would you agree saying this leave making you live in Haiti have you miss Haiti most? Does that make sense? Where for me, I came here too, but sometimes I'm thinking about Maui. So I'm from La Plaine, so I used to go to Maui every Sunday with my
Nice,
family.
nice.
Manger lambi, boire cocoa. So that was just fun. But coming here make me miss that. So I don't know if you want to share and go deeper on that.
Oh, Eddie, absolutely. I will share by saying that It's hard for me to spend a year without going to Haiti.
Why?
C'est là que m'ka sous se tête moi.
Mm,
That's where I surrender. That's where I feel my truest connection. That doesn't mean that I'm not connected to where I am right now. I'm super blessed and grateful for what I have at home and the breath that I'm breathing every single day. The sense of knowing that, you know, I'm secure, I'm safe. But I'm going to be honest with you. The last time I was there was in October of 2021
okay.
after the earthquake.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, it's been hard not being able to go back. It was hard not opening the new year in Haiti for me.
Okay.
So when I get that itch, let's call it that, that feeling,
Yeah.
it's because that is truly where I feel even more connected. Truly.
Yeah. I had a chance to interview Mark Stockton. He has a mission in Jeremy.
Okay.
Great guy, and he has a foundation and, like I said, a mission in Haiti. And he was expressing his love for the country. And I kind of, that movie. That's what he did.
Wow.
Actually, he get married in Haiti with his wife,
Wow.
and he spent 10 years in Jeremy.
Beautiful.
So my following question would be: if you had a chance to, let's say, most our audience are not Haitian, and you want to tell them about Haiti, what would you tell them?
Haiti is the most beautiful country I know. Haiti has the most beautiful people I have ever met. Haiti has one of the most talented people I have ever met, multi talented. Haiti's culture is rich in every single aspect. Haiti has the best beaches, the best food. I mean, Haiti has a very rich history.
Yes.
We were the first free Black country
Yeah.
in 1804. Everyone knows that now.
Yep.
That is worth visiting. That is worth exploring. That is worth discovering. And Haiti has also a lot of ups and downs because that is our reality.
So, and I'm gonna declare you the ambassador of Haiti. All right. So
That
I
would be
I
a
declare
dream.
you the ambassador of Haiti. All right. So because what you're doing is great, and we really appreciate you being here. This is Naïka Charles Haiti. She's passionate of Haiti. She's the CEO of Project Zintan, and I think if you want to help, you can help. So we will leave her information down and later on this podcast. So let's go with another trick. Let's go on. Okay, you 15 years, you came here. So what was your dream job when you were in high school? The reason I ask this question is to see, because some people, they think if they like something when they were little and they change, they might feel like they missed their purpose. And I think you said you find your purpose. But what was your dream job in high school?
I didn't have a dream job in high school.
Okay.
I was one of those, unfortunately, one, told what I should be. You should become a nurse. I'm sure every Haitian's gonna love that.
Oh man.
I got teacher a lot because I've always liked kids. I have a lot of godchildren.
Okay.
Um, if I have to say what attracted me while I was in high school was being truly a stewardess.
Okay.
I love to fly. I love to travel.
Okay.
So I always saw myself truly not just because it's traveling, again,
Okay.
because it has to do with service.
Yeah.
People. You know how many people the flight attendants see on a regular, like,
Yeah.
I think they see people like in their sleep, in their dreams all the time, because that's a lot.
I need to find a flight attendant to be a guest. If you know one, just send us our way. So we asked that question. but
You know
what you
what?
said makes
I have
sense.
a great one, and she's Haitian.
Oh wow.
Remind me.
Okay, we'll do.
Yes,
We'll do.
absolutely. Yeah.
So let's go to I know we going further on that on our podcast, and great episode so far. Great answers, great insight from you, Naika. So
Thank you.
take us to that formation of, I know you mentioned the three members that you and two other people that got together to create Project Zintan.
Hmm.
What was the process? Can you
What
take
was
us
the
there?
process? So we back in 2008, we were getting ready actually to go back to Haiti for Zintan. Like I said, it's our family reunion time because it's my mom's birthday on the 27th and Zintan is the 26th. Typically, it's say bal sous bal, fête champette, for like a week. And a lot of diaspora, comme si vraiment moun kampe ret connecté la kayo. That's what makes it such a great place, I have to say. They love where they come from, so they cultivate it.
Yeah.
And that's been our thing. So because of that, that year, in a conversation with these two women, um, Dina and Linda, that's their names. One of us, and I think I said, we've gone back every year, to have fun, this and that. Devant cette année, toujours un paquet bon pauvre, and I don't like the word poor or French or English,
Okay.
but I said, how about we, have the ladies in, dans la cour la caille, nous on fait un manger pour nous porter bayo. C'est comme ça, m'ka dou que that year we went to Haiti, Dina and I, Linda couldn't make it.
Okay.
And, together with our families, we put our monies together, bought rice, chicken, and
Yeah.
then nous font macaroni. And we served about 100 people devant l'église là and asked the priest for permission.
Okay.
From that year, as you can imagine,
Yeah.
we still didn't have the purpose or the nonprofit organization,
Yep.
none of that. We went back again and did it again. And then in 2010, the earthquake happened.
Okay.
And it really triggered something because a lot of people from Port-au-Prince migrated back home to
Okay.
Campinas. So that year, instead of feeding 500 people a hot meal, we had almost 1,000 people, and we didn't know what to do with ourselves.
Wow.
And we connected the dots and figured, of course, because of the earthquake, this and that. And then we registered ourselves 501c3,
Okay.
to make sure that we're in compliance with the IRS, because that is truly important. Having our status, we decided in 2011 to really see about doing something a little more sustainable for the
Okay.
organization, and that's education.
Mm.
So went back to Campione to do an assessment to see where the most vulnerable children are
Okay.
and how much school, like family background. It's a process.
Okay.
It's a process in order for it to be done well. And luckily for us, we found a really great and reliable local representative who's very respected in the community to be the ambassador, if you will, with this education program. We
Okay.
started with 8 kids, and today we have 250 kids that are being sponsored at Projects in Ann.
Mm.
So the evolution happened throughout the years because it's through sponsorship. And, you have to really work to make that work. You have to really seek to make that work because it's constant funding, looking for people that are interested in our mission, which is education and community development. So we go back to really make sure that what we are championing in the community, which is education, is done properly. But we have three great local ambassadors and volunteers. We're all volunteers, 100% volunteer base right now because everyone has like their big busy lives.
Okay.
And we're constantly looking to make sure that we stay within our mission and our vision, which is hopefully, right, work towards higher education, because right now the children that are being sponsored are from kindergarten
Yeah.
until high school.
Hmm. Wow. Well said. Well said. So let's quickly go on our next question. We will be talk about your top influencers. What are your top influencers in your life?
Ha! That is truly one of my favorite words lately, influencer, because it could mean so much. So I'm going to couple it with good influencer, because being an influencer doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing.
Okay.
So my good influencers
Yep.
right now, I have to say, are my mentors,
Okay.
who, for the most part, I have worked with in my corporate life.
Yeah.
Um, I have to say that my good influencers, for example, is the head priest in the community of Company. He has no idea that I feel this way about him, so I'm making that public. He's a
Okay.
very good influencer. He's super balanced, très équilibré.
Okay.
So, in my conversations with him, as it relates to myself, more importantly, and also obviously community engagement work, I find that he's influenced me a lot in a way where I know I can become a better person. I have some very strong women models in my life, that are a lot older than me and some younger than me. And I have to say, one of my really good influencers, as of late, is someone who is, let's just call it, high personality, high profile personality person. So I'm not going to give the plug in, but it's a woman I feel that also has had to earn her respect.
Okay.
And that to me has been a huge influence. Yeah.
Wow. Well said. Well said. We appreciate it. So now it's gonna be time for hot topic. Hot topic is a segment where we ask questions people don't have a chance to ask, and we're gonna go on hot topic now. We have Naïka Child IT. She's representing Project Zintan today on our episode. We appreciate she's being here with us. This is Divine Purpose Podcast. please subscribe to our channel on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Let's go with hot topic now. Hot topic. Hey, this is Eddy Dacius on Hot Topic. We are back with Naïka Charles Haiti. So Naïka, the question I have for you, it's in we had a MLK day with 5 panelists and we were asking them about Haiti. Why Haiti is considered the poorest country in the West Hemisphere? Where I-80, Haiti, yo di Haiti c'est pays qui pi pauvre dans Caraïbes là. Why do they say that?
I'm going to say, with my very humble opinion, that perception is everything.
Perception is everything. Can you detail?
So, perception, as it relates to your question, means what you see, what you promote, is what you believe.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, I took a training where he wasn't just a coach. He wasn't just, it was really informative learning. He said, what you permit, you promote.
Mm.
And that is, in my humblest opinion, how I can truly answer that question.
Wow. So one thing somebody told me was, and I was coming from school. So I'm a earthquake survivor. So I was in Haiti in 2010. And before that, I was in a public transportation and I met this guy. He wasn't talking to me at first, but he was talking to somebody else. And the way that young guy was so passionate about the older person, he looked like an author, like somebody who's a journalist. And he said, Haiti's fine. The people are hungry. That's it. And like if you give them food, if they can you don't have to give them food. Access to food, they will be okay. And this kind of take me to a long process and then go deep on my thinking and saying usually that's what the issue is. People are complaining they don't have food, they don't have access to like basic natural human needs. So I don't know if you can put us on your point of view and if you can assess on that observation.
Yes. I mean, that's a very good observation, and I have to say that this is the kind of observation that I try not to absorb,
Okay.
because Haiti shouldn't have a food problem. We shouldn't,
Mm.
but we do. And without being nurtured,
Yep.
I truly have to say, and I say it all the time, if I go a few, let's say on all day, all night without eating for whatever reason, by the time it's time for me to really eat, all I could think about is, how does one do it? How does one stay? I think you could stay, according to some research, 30 days without eating, just water only.
Yeah.
I think that's the number. Now, that's 30 days without water only. There are people who go through cycles, probably,
Hmm.
of that 30-day. I mean, to talk about food and Haiti would require such a deep
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I look forward to the day where Haiti isn't so hungry.
Hmm. Wow. Very, very deep, deep, deep answer, and we appreciate it. We appreciate it. So, and I'm like speechless because the way you answer the question, I was like mostly trying to. You educated me too, and I appreciate that. And I think you did a good job talking about your passion and talking about your true love for Haiti. So now we get to at the end of the podcast, but before we go, I have a one last question. So where do we see ourselves in the future? Like, do I know you mentioned about hope, and let's try to put it in action because I believe, and last time I did that on the five panelists, I speak life to Haiti because I think we don't do that, and me as a Christian, I have the power to do it. God give us the power to do it, to speak life to things. So I'm encouraging everybody to speak life to Haiti. Stop saying the bad things. So now, what can you tell us about the future, or do you see the future of Haiti?
You know, thank you. Thank you, Eddie, for such an important question, in which I will say that the future of Haiti is bright, depending on, for example, the values we give it,
Mm,
the importance of the people. It's 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 bright. I have to say, everything's possible. Nothing's impossible until it's done.
yeah.
So Haiti has a future. I hope I see it.
You hope you see it. So it's not. It's a long term future. Huh? I think, and I'm glad you said that because let's be honest. We think AD gonna have a chance to grow, and it's up to you, like you said, our next generation. So now, what are we doing for the next generation? Let's say I have a son, I have a daughter, and you have a son. Do they share that same love for Haiti? And and to be honest, I know people their kid don't speak English, don't speak Creole, and it's like a shame. And we went somewhere, and then somebody from my community saw my wife talking Creole to my son, and she was shocked because my wife, she grew up here, and she was born here technically, but she's Haitian, and she was shocked that she's speaking Creole with my son. I said, "Wow, that should be natural." But I don't know, how do you see the next generation, and how can we help them to carry the torch?
See, again, I think that this is such an important topic, and hopefully we can talk about it further at a later date. Because my son, for example, who's 27, has gone to Haiti several times
Yeah,
um, to visit, to be part of the Give Back initiative. He loves Haiti. He loves Haitian food. He loves Haitian music. He understands Creole very well. He
yeah,
speaks it, not just basic. He doesn't speak French. He understands French. I wouldn't say very well. And we have my mother and the older generation that will speak French and Creole constantly. So we it's all about cultivating.
hmm,
It's really important for me, for us as a family. My
yeah,
husband is the same way, to cultivate that. Like, nous manger haïtien. Li
yeah,
reme, ma moulin à quoi? L'autre jour, c'est ça le mandi. So for me, if you don't embrace where you come from, who you are, then your kids, you're a product. We're products. We lead by example.
yes,
So pange pange me Haiti, and that goes for every single, I want to say, the future generation, if you will, in our family. They all love Haiti. It's
yeah,
actually painful for them sometimes
yeah.
because they don't know the Haiti I've known, the
No,
Haiti we talked about
yeah.
earlier in the conversation.
Hmm. And I know, great, great, and I like everything we been. I heard everything you've been sharing and you've been explaining. And thank you, Naika. We had Naika Shawl Daiti with us today, and she talked about a love for Haiti. She talked about her upbringing. She talked about her career. So, last word for you, Naika.
Well, Eddie, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for having me once again on the Divine Purpose podcast. It was, I believe, a very great conversation. And I encourage you to continue to be the Divine Purpose, platform for so many people, like myself. And if I had any last words, it would be truly to be humble and empower, inspire to motivate,
Mm.
lead with integrity, and always, always spread love. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you, Naika. We appreciate it. This is Eddy Dacius with Divine Perfect Podcast. We have Naika today, Naika Shaw Daiti. She represent Project Zintan. We will make sure we give her a chance to promote Project Zintan. But let's do that right now so we don't forget. Naika, where can they contribute? Where they can donate to Project Zintan?
PSAHaiti.org. Again, it's PSA Haiti, HAITI.org. Thank you.
All right. So this is Naika Shaw Daiti with Divine Purpose Podcast on our episode. We're very excited to have her to the Haiti. She did a great job. She explained her career, and I think we had a chance to see her passion for Haiti. Please subscribe to the channel. Go on DPPodcast.com. Go on YouTube, the Divine Purpose Podcast Live. You're going to see us on YouTube, on Facebook, and share. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for having us today, Eddy Dacius with Naika Shaldaiti. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Naika. See you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.